Hello, hello, everyone. There's a YouTuber that says that. Is that where I got that from?
Hello. Hello. Good day. Mhm.
I know, right? Hey, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Ty and Tracy. Yeah.
Yep. Back at it again. Tag team
That's
back again.
exactly what this is. Another episode of Ty and Tracy trying to get these nonprofit streets right because we are invested in your success. And we know that the way through your success is to get your programs together. So that is what this is going to be about. And we really wanted to tailor this one to what is currently going on in our society today. And there is a big fight for social justice. And so that's what we want to talk about, how we can develop programs around social justice, because there's tons of money out there for that as well. And we all know that the bottom line is nonprofits want money. And
Mhm.
the way you get the money, how you keep the money, and how you manage the money is going to be the important aspects. And you know that we're promoting a program that we have going on. It's an intensive program. When I tell you it's intensive, it is intensive. I don't
Mhm.
care what degree you have, what other certificates you have, nothing can compare to what you're going to learn in this program. We are truly taking you through a mastery program. It is worth every single cent that you will spend for it, and the support that you'll get afterwards is invaluable. If you had to pay us individually for it, you couldn't afford to pay it, right? So this program takes everything that we would do for you, maybe in a year long or 2 year long consulting type agreement, and we condense it into 6 months
Mhm.
of training, and we hold your hand through the process and make sure that at the end of it, as long as you are coachable and you are ready to do the work, you will be funded.
Right. I like that
Yes.
the word intensity that you use.
It is intense
A
because I
lot of
was
us
looking over our syllabus and I'm like, oh,
are,
child.
girl, that's some work right there on both
Yeah,
ends. So that's why we get,
yeah.
that's why this investment is so very important because we're investing a lot into this for you. So you're gonna have to return the favor, so to speak. And even then, I don't even think that is, you know, that the cost of the program is touching the amount of value that you get from this. But
No.
during these times of social unrest, and we're just really we have a heart, both of us, to serve, and we see a lot of things out here in these nonprofit streets that just don't add up, for nonprofits. And speaking of add up, we, Tracy said nonprofits want the money. We want it to add up. We're looking for money. And usually when I get people coming to me for nonprofits, the first thing, I don't care if they even have their formation together, they're like, can I get some, can we get some money? How can we get this money? I'm like, oh, can we roll back a little bit? There's some things that we got to do before you can get the money. And Tracy mentioned getting the money, keeping the money, and managing the money. Even when you get the money, what happens? How do you keep up with this, and how do you ensure that your nonprofit or your organization is going to be sustained? How can you continue to attract funds? And you're going to do this by managing it in the most appropriate way, in the ways that funders want you to manage it, and being able to evaluate the processes so they can know whether or not what you are doing is really making a difference. And this, these times that we're in right now, there's a lot of people out here who are trying to make a difference because, there's
Yes.
some things, systematically, that have just kind of gone untouched for so long. And we're starting to see, oh yeah, you put a little salt on that, it starts to come out, the flavor of it, and that there are some things that were happening or that's been happening that we've not been paying that much attention to. But now you see some things that are coming up, and you see a whole lot of nonprofits saying, what can we do? How can we address this? How can we make our programs attractive in a way that we can get into these social justice type funds and things like that? Regardless of what your mission is, really, how can you get your organization or even your for-profit business to get on board with some of this stuff? And
Right.
how do people who are giving you the money know that they're giving you the money to do something that's really going to have the outcomes that we're looking for? People been pouring money into stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Well, when Ty talks about for-profit businesses, one of my specialities is working with social entrepreneurs. So social entrepreneurs are for-profit businesses. They're for-profit businesses with a social cause. And yes, you can get in on this as well. If you are really invested, and I know a lot of social for-profit businesses that are truly invested in change. They want to see change in the communities that they're serving in. And one of the ways to do that is to build up programs within your for profit industry. And it is absolutely possible. This is not just for nonprofit organizations, this is for nonprofit organizations, social enterprises, and for profit businesses who probably don't even want to identify themselves as social entrepreneurs, even though they are. But they actually want to see how they can go ahead and help. And even if you're not going to build the programs within your own business organization, you want to align yourself with an organization that is focused on social justice, that is focused on the humanitarian aspects of what is going on right now. Wouldn't it be an invaluable skill for you to have the knowledge and the skill set to help them make those programs a success?
Mm-hmm. And
Okay, even if you're still on a board.
you put that logic model on everything. It doesn't matter. You put that
I
on
love
everything.
to say that. Put the logic model on everything. It's like ketchup. You can put it on everything.
On everything. That's the season, right? Because you can't eat chicken without the seasoning, right? This is I don't care whatever kind you choose it, but something got to go on there. It's gonna be
Yeah,
it ain't
yeah.
gonna work. That's not the good stuff. You
But
put
it's the truth, though. You know what I mean? The logic model, like I've said it before, can be applied to every aspect of your life. I apply it to almost every aspect of my life. And I think that's a great analogy. It's like seasoning,
mm-hmm.
right? You know, as Black folks, we love our seasoning.
Girl,
So we put it on everything. If it's not seasoned, we're not eating it, right?
you ain't
So
eating it.
you take the logic model, once you have mastered it, like not understand it, not probably dabbled in it, but mastered it,
Mhm.
understanding all of the major and minor components that go along with this logic model. And we've talked about it on many occasions. We've talked about the evaluative process. We've talked about the benchmarks that go into it. We've talked about truly building out the programs to collect data that can be used in every aspect of the organization. All of this leads back to the number one thing: funding.
Mm-hmm.
It all leads back to funding. So when we're talking about social justice, we want to get a little bit into social justice, what it is, how people can help, how they can align themselves with the right people to start developing these programs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think where because we want to help. We're organizations out here, and mostly if we're minority, we're serving underprivileged, underserved, those terms that we don't really like to use anymore.
Mhm.
But that's kind of where we are, right? And we're looking at these social justice funding opportunities because I post a couple of them on my pages. If you're following me on social media, and the people in my box, can I apply for this? Can I apply for this? Can I do this? And then you want to make sure, first of all, that your mission still speaks to some components or speaks to the populations that you're trying to get these funds for. That's kind of where we're seeing a lot of the disconnect, where you're not really understanding where your mission is already.
Yes.
So even prior to this movement that we're in,
Mhm.
where are you right now? What are your mission is what you're doing right now. Your vision is what you plan to do in the future,
In the future.
right? So your mission, what are you doing right now to address some of these issues and some of these disparities? Even if you're doing something like a mentorship program, and your objectives in your program include or your goals are to increase college matriculation for African American students. That's a disparity that you're trying to address, right?
Right.
So you have to be able to think outside the box when you're looking at things like social justice. You're looking at things like diversity and inclusion, and see where your mission fits into the whole big scheme of things. And that's a good way to
I
approach.
think the point that you're making is pivotal. So don't change your mission to
Mhm.
jump on the social justice bandwagon.
Right.
Fit your whatever your mission is currently, fit it into the social justice bandwagon. Don't change your whole nonprofit mission
Mhm.
because you see money over here. keep on mission. There are ways that you can bring social justice into whatever it is that you are doing. And I kind of did a video yesterday that addressed that, how you can take what's going on now and fit it into your mission without changing your mission.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that, I mean, I think that's one of the major issues we have with funding and securing funding, because we are so, I mean, when I say we, I'm talking about minority communities, right?
Mhm,
We are usually the ones who are like, oh, we're never getting funding. Other people are getting funded for this, 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 and this. And then we'll go out and say, oh, what's a good place to find grants? What's a good place to find? And we just start going for stuff, just expending all of our energy, being exhausted, applying for stuff and looking for stuff that doesn't really fit us.
mhm.
And then we'll come back and say, oh, they don't like us because they didn't give us the money, so they didn't like us, and they gave it to this other organization across town. But what was the other organization's mission? Did it fit more? Did it connect more to what their philanthropic goal was?
Right.
How have you been keeping and managing, like you mentioned before, the finances that you've been entrusted with so far? What are
Mhm,
you showing them now to prove to them that, and this is the thing, this is about leveling the playing field,
mhm.
right? There's some things that our community that they don't know. We just don't know it, right? Because we don't get the education for it. We don't do, there's a lot of things that we just kind of miss out on.
Right.
This program is helping you to fill in those holes right there, because we're
Yes.
going to help you to know these things. And Tracy always saying, not knowing is not an excuse. That's not a
No.
reason to do stuff that you shouldn't be doing just because you don't know it. You should seek the knowledge, and you should get that knowledge. But how do you fill in these gaps for your organization when you're missing out on management pieces? You're missing out on even understanding what evaluation is and what the funder is looking for in evaluation. How do they know that you made a difference? I'm not going to give you $1 million just to have a party.
No.
Doesn't make sense. But
And the
I'll give
first
you
thing
$1 million
that we,
to make a difference.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm good. I just said they're gonna give you $1 million to make a difference. They're not gonna give you $1 million to have a party. So how are you
Right.
gonna make this difference?
And one of the key components of all of this is structure. What does your infrastructure look like? What is your management model? And a lot of people fall short on the first component, which is the board of directors.
Mm-hmm.
So in this program, it just sounds like program, but program has so many facets. So almost that this is like a hybrid nonprofit mastery
Yeah.
class, because we have to tackle all of those different components in order to get you to a strong program that is ready to be funded. So we
Mm-hmm.
are going to tackle the one thing most people don't want to talk about, which is the board of directors,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they have to fit into this model. You cannot have a strong program without a strong board of directors. You cannot.
You see my facial expressions. I'm like,
I know, I know. I'm watching you, girl. I'm watching
girl.
you.
These
Yeah,
boys, oh
you just
man.
can't. Right? So we
Oh,
have
man.
to start with that. We have to start with your management structure, right? Who's on the board? What are they contributing? What do they bring to the board? Who's getting paid? How are they getting paid? Because all of this goes into the budgeting part of the
Mhm,
program. Who's
mhm,
going to run that program?
mhm,
What what um what does their resume say? What qualifies them to run
mhm,
this program? And if
mhm,
they're not qualified to run the program, how are we then going to source? Because we're going to talk about all of this. How are we going to source people to run this program? Because when we're running this program, we want to try to reduce costs. So we want a program director who also knows how to manage grants,
mhm. Yeah.
right? Or else you're going to have to hire someone separate to do grant management. you know
Mhm,
so all of these are different components that we're going to be talking about. And Ty made a uh said something earlier which I want to piggyback on, when she talked about when we were talking about maybe you don't have this as your mission right now, so how can you tie what's going on now into your mission? And you mentioned something about that organization may have gotten the grant because that has been their mission, and they have proof that what they've been doing works. So why don't you collaborate with an organization that already has a proven model? You don't have to create something new. You can go ahead and you can create partnerships with existing organizations that have a proven model for what you want to do. And
mhm,
that is one of the best ways to make sure
mhm.
you secure a grant.
Mm-hmm.
because they have to share the grant funds if you're writing the grant together. You have to be able to bring something to the table, though.
Yep.
All right?
That's what I was gonna say. And we get like kind of territorial with our stuff, with our programs, and we're like, oh, I'm not gonna share my stuff because somebody's gonna take my stuff. Look, if your stuff not that good because you ain't got no money for it yet. So you want to get, I'm sorry, but you want to bring, you got to bring something to the table when you're looking for partnerships. And we're gonna this y'all got to get into this mastery because partnerships is also a big piece of this. When you get into these partnerships, you got to know what you bring to the table. You got to know what they bring to the table. You got to know what the purpose of the partnership is.
And we
So
have a whole model that helps you to identify exactly what you're bringing to the table, not what you think you're bringing to the table, but what you
Mhm,
actually bringing to
mhm,
the table. Sometimes what we think and what is factual,
mhm.
completely different.
Yeah, and when you're looking for a partner, you can't expect for them to be the good partner and you just be raggedy. This is a relationship that you're building with another organization. So you have to research that organization and know what they have. You want to
And they're going to
communicate with
research
them.
you too.
Yeah, because I don't want to. You don't want to partner with another organization, and that organization is just as weak as you are. Because coming together didn't help anything, right?
Right.
You want to be able to fill in some gaps that they're missing. They're filling in some stuff that you're missing, and together you can be a powerful team. And
Mhm.
this is how you bring these funds together. You'll see other organizations, they don't talk about it, but they do it all the time. All these collaborative efforts that they're doing. This is how you get in the big funding. This
Yes.
is how you do that.
Mhm. Because what that is a stepping stone to the next grant that you're going to apply for. You'll have all of the data, you have all of the proof of concept from this collaborative effort to then springboard your next independent grant application,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Now
So
you're drunk, just like your spinach, right? That's your spinach. You're gonna get over here. They gonna give me some spinach, some papa, and now I can go over here and do this
all of
myself.
these food analogies.
I'm hungry. I ain't had no lunch. I'm over here drinking water. I don't know. That's
Yeah. But you're right. It's it becomes the springboard for the next thing that you're going to be applying for. So these collaborative efforts, once they're good collaborative efforts, and you said something that is very poignant, is that you cannot collaborate with an organization that's as weak as you are.
mm-hmm.
And I mean, weak is not a bad thing. It's just that you're green, you're young, you haven't established yourself yet. So you don't want to go with an organization that is as green as you are. And I mean, this may not have anything to do currently with this topic, but I still want to mention it. When organizations are thinking about fiscal sponsorship, you don't want to go to an organization that has never made a dollar. How are you going to be sponsored by an organization who hasn't made any money? Like, come on now. Do you hear the first word?
Fiscal. Fiscal. This is money.
Right?
This is
That's
responsibility and money,
right.
right? This is what
Yeah. So if
you
they can't manage their money or they haven't made any money, how are they going to sponsor you? They don't know. They're legally responsible
Yeah.
for all of the pass-through funds that come through their organization. They have to do all of the recording and reporting and all of the administrative duties that go along with it. So if they don't have a track record of because this may apply to those for-profit businesses that are looking to align or create a program within, and you may not want to start a nonprofit organization. You may just want a fiscal sponsor. You need to align yourself with an organization that has a proven record of managing funds, making money and managing those funds.
Yeah. I mean, in building your programs, I think, a good time to look into who those organizations are. That's that time when you're building that model. When I work with people one-on-one, I go, look out in your community. Tell me
Yes.
who's doing stuff.
Mhm.
Tell me what they're doing and what they're not doing. And, just sometimes we'll jump into a program and we go, oh, I want to do this.
Mhm.
There's other people doing this. They may be doing it better.
Yeah.
And then we say, oh, because they're getting all the money. I meet with people every day. So you know what? I got this organization, and there's an organization across town, and they're getting all the money for what we're doing. So there's no money for me, and that's not true.
Right.
The truth is that if they're a stronger organization, and if you can at least bring something to the table, they'll be willing to work with you because they're not intimidated by you. You're
Exactly.
intimidated by them, because
But they're not by you.
they're not intimidated by you
And
at
that
all.
brings something what you just said brings me back to one of the things that we're going to be doing in this mastery class is market research,
Mm-hmm.
because you can't start any program unless you dig deep. Like Ty said, who's doing what in your community? You got to create a whole list. You need to know who are the players in your community, what they're doing, and how they're doing it. And then we'll see where your program fits in to that model. Do you need to even start an independent program, or do we need to create a program that you can use as a collaborative effort with another organization? Don't worry about them stealing it. Stop it. They're not stealing
They
anything
don't want
from
it.
you,
They don't want
especially if you got your paperwork intact, right? They're not going to be stealing anything from you. But we don't want duplication of services because it waters down the grant funding pool. We don't want duplication of services. We want stronger services provided to the community. So the social justice piece, think about if that's something, because there's tons of money out there for it right now. There's a lot of funding that you can get, but we don't want you again to jump on the social justice portion of this because there is money for it. You have to truly be invested in a social justice, understand what's going on, and want to make a change. Not every Black person is on the bandwagon for social justice. Some people think that everything is just hunky dory and we just need to be quiet. So if you want
to ways outside your organization, if this is not your organization's thing, and this is what people do not get. They don't get if your organization is to provide tricycles for kids and that's kind of what you do, if you want to do something for social justice, you do it. Like, do it yourself. Like, do it as you. Get out here and do whatever you want to do. But you keep your organizations, with the tricycles for kids, because that's not what their mission is. That's not what their bottom line is. If you're serving other people and you have a diverse of service, and that's what you do in your organization. But as a person, you can still stand up for social justice as an individual. You can still tag on to other organizations that are doing this as an individual. You can still make your mark as an individual without bringing it in as your organization, if that's not a part of your organization's focus. Everything doesn't require a grant. And I think that
No.
that's why we jump onto a lot of things, because we're like, oh, if I can get a grant for this, then I'm going to do that. And something as serious, not that everything else is not serious, but something that is just serious and so important to our community as social justice, we shouldn't wait on a grant to move on it.
No.
It's just really, and it's just a lot of us kind of sit back and go, oh, if I can get a grant for social justice, then I can do something for social justice. No. You can do something for social justice right now without waiting on somebody to give you a grant for it.
Yeah.
That's just kind of like,
if you are going to do something within your organization, we need it to be legit. We need it to be a solid program. We need it to be a solid program, because guess what? All eyes are going to be on you. Based on what's going on right now, they're going to be scrutinizing every social justice program out there. You want to make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Please do not jump into this arena unless you have the right help. Sign up for our course and get the program done correctly. Again, it's Building Profitable Programs, the Logic Model Mastery. You can go to this website and sign up today. We're starting in a month.
In a month, a month and a week.
Yeah. So we'll be starting on July 14th. It's going to be 10 sessions. It's going to be intensive. It's an investment. We know that. It's an investment. But we can guarantee you that if you come into the program and you come in with a coachable mind, you come in ready to work and actually do the work. Okay, do the work and take our suggestions and our consulting and coaching you along the way. You can make back that money 10 or 20 times. It's limitless, the amount of money you can make back from these programs. That is a guarantee. And Ty and I both decided that we're going to give you this guarantee. If you do every single thing we tell you to do, right? And we're going to be keeping a checklist. Trust me. That's right. That if you do everything that we tell you to do and you don't make your money back, we give you your money back.
Get it back. And that's a serious guarantee, because we are just that sure that we know what we're doing. And if you guys follow the steps, and this is, we have a path, a success path to get you to where you're going. A
Mhm.
lot of folk will come into that success path and try to shortcut it.
Yes.
Shortcutting is where it has gotten us where we
You
are
lose
as
the game.
right now. You gotta, the path is laid out. You gotta follow the path. There are no shortcuts to it. It's
No.
overnight success. Y'all hear those stories. Oh, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do it that way. Y'all asking me for too much. Y'all doing too much or whatever. No, we're talking about long-term sustainability.
Mhm.
And when you're doing something that's going to be a long-term sustainable goal that you're trying to reach, you got to follow the process. You got
Yes.
to put in all the ingredients. You got to bake it at 350 for however long they told you to. I know this because I can't bake
I need
nothing.
to go eat. Sorry.
I've been trying to shortcut these cakes all year. They be
Oh
all
yes, I remember your cakes.
shortcutting and stuff. Give you something nasty. You be
Yeah.
like, or something raw, something
Yeah.
undercooked,
Yes.
something that's not going. You cannot take it to the next level because you try to shortcut it. So in this mastery, if you follow the process exactly, and I know people say, well, take out the stuff you like, and this is not one of those things.
No.
This is not one of those things that you take out what you like and apply that, and then leave out the rest. You follow the steps. The steps will get you funded, will keep you funded, and show you how to manage what you have.
Mhm.
Because if you can manage things successfully, funders like that. They
Yeah.
want to see that you know how to keep up with what you've been given. Even if you got $100, I want to know what you did with it, right? I want to know how you applied this to the population and what you were able to do with this $100 before I give
Mhm.
you 200 more. This is just how it works. This is other people's money, and you have to you got to think about it like that. And I know a lot. I put a meme up one time and said, "You're so vain. I bet you think this grin is about you." You know that song?
Yeah.
I bet you're so vain. I bet you think this grin is about you. It is not.
No.
It's not about you at all. It's about the funder and it's about the population that you're serving.
Mhm.
They could care less about your organization itself, other than whether or not you're going to take care of this money that we gave you and you're going to make a difference with it.
Yes. And that's the truth. They want to see that they're putting their dollars to work, that you can prove to them. Remember, no matter what grant you apply for, if you're getting free money, there's a reporting. And in that reporting, they're going to ask you for certain key details. And if you cannot produce those documents, if you can't produce the results and show the results, not just say, they want to actually see. I mean, I've known grantors who have actually sent people out to interview participants of a
Mhm.
program. They'll go that far. So don't take it for granted that you're just going to get the money and no one is going to actually follow up. You don't know what that grantor will actually do. It may not be written in the RFP, but they may suspect something, hear something, get a complaint.
They'll pull up. They'll drive by.
Yeah,
You said y'all be here on, whatever. I want to see.
yeah. They'll literally come
Ask
in
me
and do their own
yeah.
assessment, especially if they're giving you big money. Maybe
Mhm.
not for a little $25,000 or $2,500 grant, but if you're talking like $100,000, $1 million,
Mhm.
trust and believe someone is coming out on the
Drive
low. Just like they have secret shoppers, they'll
Mhm.
send out somebody to infiltrate. They'll send the person out even as a participant in your program to
Mhm.
make sure that you are doing with the monies what you say you're going to do, that the program is running the way you said it's going to run. Because you think grantors don't know that grant writers are crafty and can create programs or sub programs on a fly that look nice on paper, but in your organization, you're not doing any of that stuff.
Mhm.
You don't want to take those chances, because once you're blackballed, you're blackballed. That
Mhm.
means there's no more money for you.
Mhm.
So again, let's get it together, make the investment, sign up in building profitable programs, a logic model mastery. We guarantee again that if you follow the systems and processes that we're going to put you through, means you're coming in, you're willing to hear, you're not coming in to tell us what you have done and what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and what shortcuts you're planning on taking through the steps. You have to do it exactly the way we said it. This is one of those things, like there are a lot of coaches that say there are no blueprints. For most things, really and truly, there are no true blueprints. This is a blueprint. Okay,
Mhm.
you cannot shortcut this process. Every time, everyone I know who has shortcut this process has lost in the end.
Yep.
You've lost.
No shortcuts.
There's no shortcuts to program creation. Okay. And it's, again, I want to say this again, and Ty can piggyback on it if she wants to. Programs are not curriculums. That is a component of a program. It is not the program. Programs are not activities. So it's not the fundraisers that you do. It's not the gala. It's not the walkathons. It's not the food drives, the clothing drives. It's that those are not programs. Programs enact change, long-lasting, sustainable change within the population that you serve.
Mm-hmm. Measurable change.
Yes.
Things that you can measure. Did you make a difference? Did you change a condition? Did you change a behavior? Did you change a circumstance?
How do you know that? Okay. Not, you can't, I mean, anybody can say, yes, I made a change, but Ty used the right terminology. Measurable change. So measurable change has proof. It has hardcore evidence.
Evidence.
Okay.
So y'all
So
ready to get this? Let's get it.
building profitable programs, logic model mastery. You can go to tvacon.com/logic model mastery and sign up today. It is an investment in the future success and sustainability of your nonprofit, your social enterprise, or your for-profit business that has a social cause.
Mm-hmm. And I didn't say anything about the bonus.
Oh, and that let's talk about that bonus. We're not going to say what the bonus is, but guess what? We just added another component to the bonus today.
Just keep on getting better with this, right?
Yeah, so we just added another component today. So you're actually going to get two major bonuses, and they're so timely.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Absolutely necessary.
These are classes on their own. Like these two bonuses can be classes all on their own, and you're getting it. Step-by-step process again, how to put this into your nonprofit. So we're shoring up your nonprofit organization. You have a barricade on all four sides to make sure that what's inside stays safe, stays sustainable, and takes you to where you want to go.
If you want to level up on the other side of this thing, you gotta get your programs together. You gotta get the infrastructure straight.
Yep.
I mean, if you're right now at a loss about what to do right now, and that's why, because your programs are not together, your infrastructure is not tight, you don't know how to get into it.
Yes.
If you're feeling stuck right now, it's like, oh, there's something that I need to be doing with this whole social justice movement, this whole social unrest that we're in this whole even COVID-19 and being down for COVID-19. If right now you're talking to yourself and you're like, there's something I should be doing, but I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to make my organization be a part of what's going on. It's because your programs are not together, because there are pieces of your programs that stand out for different reasons. And those pieces attract other organizations that might be doing these things that you're wanting to do. But if you're not doing them in the way that you should be doing them, then nobody sees you. Nobody sees you because you're not doing it the way that they're supposed to be done.
Right. If you have a well-run program, it speaks for itself. It attracts donors, it attracts volunteers, and most of the work you won't even have to do yourself anymore. It attracts donors, it attracts volunteers, it attracts sponsors, it attracts your clients, all for itself without a whole ton of promotions.
Yeah.
But you have to get your programs together. So go on over, Building Profitable Programs, Logic Model Mastery, tvacon.com/logic model mastery, and sign up today. And we will see you back tomorrow. We're going to continue to talk about social justice. We're going to get a little bit more into what a social justice program can possibly look like. Kind of give you like a semi framework about it. So join us tomorrow, and make sure you like, share, and comment below if you have any comments or questions. But share this out, because I know you know other people who are social entrepreneurs, people who are nonprofit leaders who need to see this. If you know someone who's in a nonprofit and their programs are crap, they just don't have what it takes. I mean, I could think of another word right now.
You say crap on the spot. See?
Yeah. Programs need help, honestly, so that their programs need help, that they could be making so much more money for their cause than they are currently, you need to share this out with them, invite them to come. And we're here every Tuesday and Wednesday, right? Yep, Tuesday and Wednesday at 12:30. We'll be talking about programs and getting you ready for the building profitable programs, logic model mastery. Until tomorrow, bye guys.